I just got a bill from a shop that is almost the entire value of Clapped Car. If you guys don't know, there is a shop called ASM, and I'm bringing the car there. I did because I wanted them to get the car aligned, corner balanced, and pretty much the little tidy pieces put together for the car. I had asked them to give a little look over, to take a peek and see what could potentially be wrong. And what I got back was a bill that is the same size as the original cost of the car. So we're jumping into it together. I do want to say that if there's a time to pick up a t-shirt, now would be a fantastic time. But with that being said, corner weight and alignment from ASM Motorsports, these guys have been in the business for a good minute now, was likely gonna be $300 to $400. I had asked for a vehicle check and alignment, tips and tricks, and maybe a little bit of walk around with the car to let me know if there's anything wrong with it. I sent this email on March 19th. Yesterday. Here's what I got back. Hey Alex, we have a big list of recommendations that require attention. The ABS doesn't work. Several lights or errors in the ECU. EPS doesn't work. Highly recommend a new baffled oil pan for track duty. I had several seized alignment hardwares that's gonna require cutting out to even get the car aligned. A few torn suspension bushings. My speed sensor is not connected or wired in. I have an aluminum flywheel, which they say is the worst thing you could possibly have in a race car since sliced bread. They said there's lots of body rubbing on the wheels. Yeah, there is. Street stance car, baby. There needs to be an intake manifold brace because we don't have one. The lower radiator hose was improperly routed. The outer tie rods are all torn. The rear diff appears stock and untouched, to which he says it's highly prone to failure and is going to fail. Heat management, highly recommend adding a fire suppression system, and I need to finish up my harness. So I went in for corner alignment and I came back with what I thought was going to be maybe $2,500 to $3,000 range. I could not be more wrong about that price point. We got it all taken care of. You know, he said we can get it fixed, don't even worry about it. But he just wanted to let me know that we're now looking at $1,300 in parts, 8 to 10 hours to cut out the stuff to get everything aligned. So we're at the $2,500 to $3,000 range. Upper control mounts on the early AP1s are known to pull off the chassis under extreme loads. The front lower offset joints need to be replaced. The rear tow arms with adjustable bump steer should be installed. Wheel hubs, and yeah. So I was like, okay, good. At $2,500 to $3,000, we can sell some feet pictures. We can make it happen. I did ask if there's a couple things we could maybe hold up on, but I did say let's do the lower offset ball joints, the rear tow arms, and the upper control arms as well. Now, here's the thing. On the service list, we finally got it kind of built out. It was looking pretty good. Fix ABS, fix the EPS, address the lower radiator hose, vehicle speed center, complete spherical install with replaced alignment adjusters, front lower offset ball joints, rear adjustable tow arms. We're gonna weld and reinforce the upper A arm mounts, and then finally corner weight and alignment. He did let me know that adding a turbo just multiplied your expense by about 10. Sick! After we had kind of figured that out, once we got the new list put together, the $300 to $400 invoice has now become $5,000, which is super exciting. I will let you guys know if this progresses, but in the meantime, you can either buy a foot picture or a t-shirt, and we'll be back shortly. Loading up this trailer might have been the worst mistake I've ever made, but I know for sure it's the most expensive trip I've ever taken before. We're back with the S2000, aka Clapped Car, where I'm taking it to ASM to what I thought would be just a corner balance and alignment, and it turned into so much more. Okay, we're back. We're back. It's been a couple days, and I'm just grabbing the camera and I'm setting it down, and I'm reading the email. It's like right here. There's been more updates. Number one, he said, I noticed you don't have a fire suppression system. Gridlife Time Attack does not require a fire suppression system more than it requires just a fire extinguisher. But he did essentially say, if you don't put a fire suppression system in your race car, you're kind of an idiot. So I trust him. Then he said, do you want the front brake lines off? Do you want a set of braided stainless steel lines instead? He recommended fresh rotors. I said no, but we did get new brake pads. The reason that I'm telling you guys this is because we have 5 days. We don't have a lot of time, and I wanted to try and get as much of I could done here in the shop. But again, if you guys are actually running around and building a race car, I don't know about you, I'm gonna put my faith in somebody that's built like 1 billion of these versus just me. I wanna get it done right. I wanna make sure that it's good. Here's the great news. Outside of that, I think we're looking good. He did follow up with a few other things. Apparently the shifter was bent, the trans fluid was super low, and the ABS was actually an easy fix, so that's cool. Someone just left some sensors unplugged. I could not imagine who that might be.
I don't know who would ever do such a stupid, silly thing before.
But that got fixed, and someone also left the main EPS by the EPS module unplugged. Got that fixed. Look at that. He did mention that most of the S2000s that he races for Gridlife Touring Cup are $70,000 to $80,000. And if we're under that, then we're doing okay. The great news is, and I think even after this, we should be under 45,000. But it is biting me in the ass right now because I'm pretty sure this bill is gonna be like $6,000 to $7,000. I'll let you guys know. All right, so it's been about 10 days, and here's one thing I can say. We have spent 10 days waiting for the S2K to get done, and miraculously, for the very first time, I can honestly say, ASM actually got the car done in 10 days. Like, that's astonishing. I've never actually worked with a shop before where what they said needed to get done and what got done in the time frame that it got done in has ever been achieved before in my entire life. And if you guys haven't heard of ASM, they're pretty much the go-to place for S2000s. And if you don't believe me, just look. Oh, shit, that's not an S2000. There's one, there's two, there's three. So these guys participate pretty much all across the Gridlife series. They do a lot of different builds. They don't just do Gridlife, they do a whole bunch of stuff. They are pretty much like the go-to experts of everything. What is that?
It's your suppression system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a thing in case the car starts on fire.
Cool.
Yeah, we love fires. I mean, we love preventing fires. This is ASM. If there's anyone in the Midwest that knows S2000s, it's this tiny shop. And when I showed up, I didn't really know what to expect, but what I found was a sea of S2000s, a couple BRZs, an FRS, a Honda Civic, and what seemed to be about 17 blown up wheels and 37 motors currently growing vegetation. But the person that I came to meet was Andy. Hi guys, how are you, man? I'm Alex.
How are you? Andy.
Andy? Oh, you're the guy. All right, so Andy, I want you to be honest. Out of 10, when we first saw the car, what would you rate the car?
I'd say it's a pretty common street car.
Okay.
S2 with a bunch of power. Track car, it was missing some stuff.
Would you mind showing us around a little bit of what we got?
Yeah.
I guess.
I think we started off with suspension bushings.
Yep.
We noticed a few of them were torn. So yeah, we started there. We basically did all new lower control arm bushings.
Yep.
To sphericals. We left the uppers stock. We do that mostly because these spindles are not the strongest. And when we've done full sphericals on a lot of track cars, you end up breaking spindles. Brake lines and brakes.
Yep, pads. We did the Hawks, right?
Just the Hawk ER1s.
Yep.
There'll be a good pad.
And we got a fire suppression system now.
Yes. I would also recommend maybe just a small handheld. There's a lot of times...
fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of times it's a small fire and it will be fine and you don't need to deploy your fire system. Sure. I'll get it, you know, let me finish finish this lap. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna put that fire out. If you have a little fire bottle, you can just get out and put it out. Sometimes you just need to finish the lap.
I'm not surprised.
So yeah, there's a couple fire nozzles. I think there's 3.
Oh yeah, see one here.
This is probably where you'll start on fire.
Oh, thank you.
This is nothing. This is just going to be a glowing torch. You got a heat shield here, which is definitely needed. You almost need a little bit bigger one though.
So more.
Yeah.
Because I know when we talked, there's a couple things I was like, we want to do it, we know we have to do it, we don't have time to do it. And I think cooling, you said heat management here. Yep. We're missing a cross brace entirely, like right here.
We're always on a time constraint and there's always a budget.
Yeah.
Always. Doesn't matter who you are. There's a budget and time. So we need to do the most we can with the time and money we have right now. There's always things to do. Like no track car is ever just, oh, okay, it's done, it's complete.
Yeah.
You know, we're not touching it again. So we try to hit the key points first, and then yes, you're definitely gonna have some work. The first mod is not to your car.
Yeah.
You know, it's to you. Like, let's get you seat time.
Yeah.
We try to sell people an AIM Solo first. Like, here's your first mod. You know, go learning something.
No, dude, like, thank you so much for the help and all of that,
no
the time. Like, I was even saying, like, in the beginning of the video, and I don't even mean this as, like, a bullshit thing. I was like, we worked with so many shops before in the past, and we love them. We love all the companies we work with. But, dude, I give them a car, and they'd be like, yeah, like 2 weeks. 3 months later, I'm like,
never done on
what'd
time.
you do? What did you do with the car?
Oh, yeah, here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. Just in time for a test day.
Yeah.
That's Monday?
Yeah.
I think you should be ready.
One of the things I will always say is there's one thing in terms of building a car for the track, right? That's brand new. That's like stock everything, right? And driving that. And I think there's a difference in taking a 20 or 30-year-old car, putting 480 horsepower to the wheel, 500 horsepower to the wheel, and then driving that consistently with reliability. And gonna be honest, way out of my realm in terms of doing for the first time. And you guys have noticed that I have pulled on so many different people that know way more than me. People that fabricate, people that know suspension geometry, people that know how to do these things. Jackson has helped me, Corey Talaska has helped me. A lot of these businesses and partners have helped me. And now ASM has helped me, because the number one most important thing that I do not wanna mess up with this car, and hopefully you guys are seeing it now, I wanna make sure the car is safe. I wanna make sure the car is ready, because there's one thing in terms of building a street car that can kind of, you know, do some crazy noises and make some loud shit happen. And there's another thing with being able to run around Road America with brakes on the 4th lap that aren't gonna actually give out. And having a fire suppression system and having all that stuff is huge for me. So we're gonna get this thing loaded up. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you guys have an S2000 or you're in Wisconsin, man, ASM, they're the place to go. Really excited to get this thing to its first track day, which is in 72 hours. And if that's not crazy enough, it's supposed to rain. So it's finally home, and the total bill was $6,000. Wait, how much was the total bill? The total bill for this was $6,790.87. The great news, no processing fee on the credit card, because that would have added another 3%, but it's home. You might wonder, Alex, what did I get for all of that? That's a really great question. Honestly, the thing that I got that you're gonna be able to see if you're ever around this car is just this. Thanks, baby. We have 48 hours to get the car in its final condition, because we did make it on the timeline for Road America, and I'm very, very excited. Now you might be thinking, Alec, for $6,790.83, the car should be ready. No, it won't be. We have 16 things on the list that were sent back to us that still need to be repaired, that still need to be fixed, but I didn't want to do it because I wanted to do it, and I didn't want to spend any more money because we're broke. So the drift car is gonna have to take a small pause, I think. You guys will have to let me know. Dustin, any last words? Let's go, clap car! It's hard to say clapped car will never settle right now, but if you want to put it in the comments, it might make me feel a little bit better. Clapped car will never settle. But it's an expensive broad.